I got to tell them a little secret about you, because those of you that don't know this, she 2 times competed on the U.S. international team for Olympic lifting. And more impressively than that, she coached at Oklahoma State in Tulane in Olympic lifting. And how about this one, if you want to toot a horn, a Masters World Champion she is in lifting. So, we'd like to know, because every one of these stories is different about working out and using the product line. So would you give the audience an idea of, what you do to work out with specifically real quick? And then any response to the product, because you've only had, a little over a week?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Go ahead.
So I mean, obviously I do Olympic weightlifting. I actually compete in a meet November 11th, so pretty soon. So I got the products about a week ago. And just to kind of give you a little bit of background, I have an exercise science degree. And a lot of times when I was growing up, all the exercise science, all the periodization, all the research, all that stuff was done on a man's body. It was never done on a female's body. So about 2 years ago, I heard of a lady named Dr. Stacy T. Sims, and she was talking about we shouldn't train males and females the same. We're not the same. We are not small men. We just aren't. And so, right? But everybody wants to do that, right? So she said, so days 1 through 14 of your menstrual cycle is when you're strongest. But the 7 days leading up to that, that's when you're going to be your weakest, and you're just not going to feel as good. But days 1 to 14, you hit it hard. So I took that, and I coached, my youngest that I coach is 6 years old, the oldest I coach is 76. But my elite athletes, I have one trying to make the Olympic team. That's what we kind of follow. So I got these products, and just to be very open and honest, I was on those 7 days leading up to that, and I was like, oh boy, this is not going to go well. What's going to happen? So last Saturday, I was lifting heavy. It was supposed to be a heavy training cycle, and I just didn't. Going in, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to feel very good. I started lifting, and all of a sudden, I don't know if you know anything about Olympic lifting, but it's very technical. It's 90% strength, about 10%. 90% mental, 10% strength is what it is. So you really have to focus. And so all of a sudden, just things started flying. And I figured I'd go in and maybe do, if you know kilos, 55 kilo snatch. I was snatching 65 kilos. When I was younger, my best ever was an 80 kilo snatch. I did 75 last year, or earlier this year. And before training, I had only made 65 in practice. Last Saturday I had 65. And that's just how I train, and that was just huge for me. It just changed everything. So knowing that when you're even in that cycle, you can still go heavy and had no loss of strength.
Awesome. Appreciate you sharing that, Anna. Females out there. She'll be out in the audience if you want to talk to her about that. So, Paul, hey, different story, right? Different story.
Very different. I'm not a
Hold on, Paul. Hold on. I do want to give this inside secret. I mean, you climb a mountain every year, and you also have been a martial arts instructor for the Marines on American soil. So, guy that served us, so we salute that out there. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Hey, y'all. So my background is a little bit more self-taught. I worked in the MPC pretty often. There's a couple competitors in the room that did wonderful. One nationally qualified. Very true what you're saying about different people need to train different ways. The way that I train is very, oh wow, I'm so bad with the mic. DNA specific. It's DNA specific. And so I'm mixed, right? So I respond really well to strength and power, but also I have a lot of slow twitch expression, so I need to do a lot more endurance work. So the way I typically train is I like to push-pull leg. I change it up on occasion, but I'll train heavy for about 20 to 30 minutes, working up those single-digit rep sets, usually some sort of really heavy power lift, and then after that it's all volume. It's just burning it out, getting the time under tension, making sure it hurts a little bit. The reason I point that out is because I'm not a novice trainer. I've been doing it for a long time. I know what I'm doing. So when I see progress, it's very incremental. It's very small. And as you know, sometimes not at all, right? And so I was doing my deadlift, my hardest lift, for me personally. I was doing my 90% for a set of 2. I typically don't like to push it because of my lower back. And when I first used, I think it was the second day, I used this lineup that we're about to be talking about, and I did what I typically struggle to do 2 of for 3 reps, and I had more in the tank. I just put it down because I was used to not doing so many. That was incredible. And so not only did I notice that my fatigue point is completely non-existent, but I recently went climb that mountain literally a couple days ago, and I'm not an experienced rock climber. So I'm climbing with this dude that does it for a living, doesn't need ropes or anything. And we went up 400 feet. I took the work, the load, and then I did the recover afterwards. And I literally was able to go up like I've been climbing all this time.
Awesome.
It's awesome.
Great. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Two different stories there. Brett Buford is going to get away from the weights, and he's got a great story. For those of you that don't know, Brett's claim to fame in his high school is the all-time leading scorer in his basketball team's history, and champion father, and champion dad, and champion husband. Brett, tell them what you've been doing to work out and how the products have affected you.
Yeah, so up until recently, I was training just to be an athlete. I mean, that's what I do, basketball training, fitness training for athletes. So that's what I was training myself. But about the last month and a half, 7 weeks, I've been doing all calisthenics. So a lot of push-ups, pull-ups, a lot of jumps, so a lot of squat jumps, Bulgarian split squat jumps. So a lot of volume, and we're also putting on a pool right now, so I had to shovel gravel for about an hour one day after leg day, and I figured I wouldn't be able to get out of bed the next day, my back would be sore. I've not been sore once. It's been incredible, the recovery aspect of it. The other thing is, like, I get done with a workout, and I feel better at the end of the workout than I did at the beginning.
Wow.
So the endurance that you get, the focus you get, the recovery that you get is better than anything that we've ever had.
Yes.
The other thing too is the mental aspect, that you just feel good even later on in the day. You're going to feel that focus. I feel like I can go do another workout. So if you guys have not tried this yet, you're going to love being able to use this stuff.
Awesome. Bodyweight workout champ. Awesome. Great job. Well, I've got a fact on Mark. How many of you guys in here, gals, think Mark's pretty intelligent? Anybody?
Yep.
I'll tell you, not so intelligent. When he was in college, he failed his 7 a.m. business math class. So, I don't know how you want to handle that, Mark, but I'll throw it back to you.
You know, the interesting thing, God finds his place in things at the right time. So yes, I was supposed to be this really smart person, but I failed one class in my life, and it was this wonderful 7 a.m. business math class. And I went on academic probation. Anyone can attest to this? I mean, it's academic probation for a baseball player is not a great thing. Coach is all on me, so I retake the same professor, same class, 10 a.m. the following semester, and in front of me is this little 5'2" blonde. That was 32 years ago, and I'm still married to her.
There you go.
I will say the one thing I failed in my life was the biggest accomplishment I ever had.
That's really awesome. Well, we're going to transition to products now. And I know that is really awesome. But Mark, you of all of us on the stage have had the products a little longer. So we leave you for Dr. Impact at the end.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's been fun. It really has. So I can't wait. I mean, I will tell you something, Joe. Listening just to this brief story of everyone up here, I mean, my heart's leaping out of my chest, because a lot of times when you launch a product or a product line, you're like, oh man, is it really going to work for people? We really hope it works. We launched this with no hesitation because we know it's going to work. And you're hearing this from 1 dose, 2 doses. I just can't wait to hear it.
It's great. It's great. Total muscle mass that you have put on.
So, you know what's interesting is you heard Todd lost 50 pounds. Todd, that is an amazing feat. I mean, that takes so much work. I mean, the dedication, unreal. You heard Logan lost over 20 pounds. Guys, I think you'll have a picture back there. Can you show this picture? There you go. Just so you know, that's me last November. Wow. I've lost 5 pounds.
Wow.
Let me make sure you hear that. I've lost 5 pounds. 28 pounds of muscle.
Wow.
28 pounds of muscle. So, I want that routine. Well, hey, let's transition, because we've all kind of taken it for a test drive. Mark, obviously, a little bit longer. And I know your brain starts churning in the business. So sharing these products, okay, and looking into your warm market, what are you going to go back with? I mean, we got a new little pizzazz, right? I mean, we got 3 products wrapped into one fitness line. So I'm going to go to you, Brett, because I mean, you and I talked a little bit, because you're in the fitness world a lot, basketball coaching. I mean, you're multifaceted. How are we going to share this and get some traction with our business?
So one thing I'm going to do, because I deal with a lot of athletes, well, what does every athlete want? They want more muscle. They want to recover better. They want to perform better. So one, just going to be able to take it to the athletes. The other thing too is take it to the coaches, because the coaches got to be at their best for their athletes. And then the other thing too is fitness trainers, because again, if we all want to build a business, all right, fitness trainers have a reputation that people listen to them. So that's going to be another tool that we can offer the fitness trainer, is not only to help improve and take their results to the next level, but help take their clients' results to the next level. So you've got a business on your hand now. That's what I'm going to share with moving forward. And then again, like we talked about too, is I'm going to start with my parents. Because that's going to be the other market that we can hit, is the older generation, and really helping them preserve that lean muscle mass.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. I'm going to parlay off that real quick. My mom's 89 years old. She's a widowed farm wife, still lives on her own, drives, does everything. And I told Mark, I mean, what should she take of the 3 products? He goes, get her to recover. And I mixed one up right there at lunch on Thursday at the table. I'm going to video you, Mom, whatever's live. And I let her rip. And she's kind of like, for some of you folks that might know the old Life cereal commercial with the Mikey, right? Mikey doesn't like anything. That's kind of my mom, okay? And all of a sudden she's like, I like it, I really like it. So I do have that video, and we'll market that video for you, for the 89-year-old population, right? Awesome. Hey, Paul, how would you handle things differently, marketing the product to people you know, or maybe some of your current customers that are already on board, they've leaned up with the Lean 30. What's the next step?
Well, I definitely think aiming towards the people of influence, because they have so much trust. I think that's a smart place to start, and I would be adding that to my list in a big way. But the other thing is going to be, a large majority of general population does not want to be in the gym, does not want to be in the CrossFit box. They do not want to go for the run. They are not in the mood. So that's a huge market alone. Giving them that motivation to, like, hey, you can do this, you're going to feel great without raising your blood pressure and your risk of heart attack with a bunch of stimulants. The other thing is understanding that a lot of people train in the afternoon, and that the half-life, the breakdown of caffeine for most people in their bloodstream is about 8 hours. So go look at how busy the fitness places are at 5 p.m. Those are the people that you want to be talking to. Those are the people that you want to be sampling, and letting them know, hey, maybe not taking stimulants, but still improving the heavy quality of your workout at the same time is going to do you a big service. And then the recovery that we're going to experience with higher quality sleep, because we're not taking caffeine at 5 p.m. You know, so that's where my head's at.
Miss Casey Weightlifting. Mark's up on stage, and you are not supposed to share these products with anybody else but yourself, right? When you broke that rule. So, you tell them what you told me, because I told you I wasn't going to ask you that, but you're lying. So here we go.
I literally said, I'm only going to tell you, Joe, and I'm not.
No, listen, this is important, because this validates why we do the business.
Yeah, so I only had a few days, so I was like, man, I don't train as much as everybody else. So I had an 18-year-old and I had a 40-year-old, both males, and I was like, you know, I want you guys to tell me what you think. And they both tried it, came back, turned around, and said, when can I buy that? I said, not till Saturday.
One sample, right?
One sample.
One sample. You know, I think the other thing is, too, we all like to sample energy and hydrate and sleep strips. Anybody do that? I mean, you get a lot of traction. But I was talking to Brett, I'm like, man, sampling these out, I don't know about that. Brett, kind of tell them what you were going to do with your market.
Yeah, so, I mean, if we do sample these 3 products, guys, we're going to be, it's going to cost a pretty penny. So what I'm going to, unless they're of high influence that I think they'll be in the business, then yes, I'll give them the free samples. But anybody, normal person, we've got a 30-day guarantee, guys. So I just tell them, hey, give it a shot. On day 29, day 30, you don't like it, contact corporate, they'll give you your money back, no questions asked. So why not try something different? You're not out any money at all if you don't like them. And if you love them, then you're getting results.
Love that idea, love that idea. And obviously, us as associates, right, leading by example, we want to be taking the product, right? It's a show pack special. It's not a bad deal to get started that way. And I know it's sometimes going into places, people might be brave, and I'll tell you, here's probably just as important about what to do as what not to do, right? we want to have that great reputation at IDLife of building an unbelievable group of difference makers. So if you're not a gym person and you walk into every gym trying to peddle product, you're probably not going to get very far, right? I mean, I know this about high school football coach, college football coach. If a mom's son's not playing for me, I'm not going to listen to her, all right? So what I'm trying to do is not waste your time, right? If you're not in a gym, you might want to join one. If you're not in a fitness class, you might want to join one, right? If you haven't climbed a mountain, well, I don't know if you want to do that, but you want to go to your market that you're currently in, right? Be who you are, because we have a whole variety of people. Mark, you talked about longevity. Can you elaborate on that real quick? Because I think that's important.
What's interesting, so my own personal issue is, I had to make a decision. Did I want the dad bod or did I want to be a father figure? So, I chose father figure. But I'm at 52 years old. I'm lifting more than I did when I was a college athlete.
It's huge.
And in the mindset, what's the thing is this product, these series of products will mess with you psychologically. Mess with you in a good way because you're actually able to do things that you didn't know you had the ability to do. Remember, we talked about a minute ago, the whole purpose of this line was to unleash your potential. Give you an opportunity to do something you didn't otherwise think that you can do. But most importantly, for the older population, be the example that we should be for the younger generation that's behind us. Remember, we're the ones that taught them all of the things that they're currently doing. They don't do what we tell them. They do what they see us doing. So, the whole concept behind the longevity process was don't build products just for the gym. It's going to work in the gym. You've heard this. It works in the gym. But it works even better for the people that, hey, I just have an active lifestyle. Work for me is... Here come the kids at 3 o'clock and I got to get to 10 o'clock and I don't have the energy to get there. So guess what? Here comes work. I can get through the day now. And guess what? I'm going to have my recovery when they go to sleep so that I can get a good night's sleep, shut down the brain, get more mentally relaxed, and actually get into the next day.
Awesome.
The load formula is all about preventing muscle loss when you're in that phase of life where, hey, time is your enemy. It's always that I don't have time to do things, but guess what? When you don't have time to do the things to build your strength, your body doesn't stop losing your muscle. And as you lose your muscle, guess what happens? Hey, the years go on, you haven't changed your diet, but all of a sudden you start putting on the pounds. Because as we lose our muscle, guess what? Our metabolism slows down. If you can preserve your muscle, guess what? You can preserve your metabolism, which, hey, you get to stay stagnant in that period of life. So, it is literally designed for anyone and everyone in every phase of life, no matter where you are and what you're trying to accomplish.
That's great. That's great. Well, I'm going to set you guys up for one last comment, and you can also include which of the 3 products is your favorite if you want. But I want to tell you this, when I first used it, I had a workout, I had a long day, and I don't normally work out at night. But I took the products because Mark sent them, and I thought I'm going to just go downstairs and do what I do. But I started lifting, and all of a sudden things went pretty well. And sets of 10. And I do this test when I turn my birthday, when I have my birthday, where I try to take 225 pounds and go how many years old I am, that many reps as fast as I can. And I didn't have a clock down there in the basement, but went 61 reps at 225. And I told Mark, I said, the difference was reps 8, 9, and 10 went up quicker and more efficient. Okay, and that was on that product. And then I took the recovery product, and I slept better. I'm a sleep strip user. But there's something about the recovery product, Mark, because I've been doing half a toddy before I go to bed. And I like that as a product right before bed too. So that's a possibility for you in a marketplace that's looking for something like that. So Anna, 30 seconds or less. Favorite product if you have one, otherwise is there a tip you have to help us move this in the marketplace?
I think, I was trying to think which one I like the best. I really think I like all of them, but probably the load would be my favorite, and then recovery. And the big thing I'll tell you, the reason why I really like that recovery is that cherry tart juice. I've been telling my older population for a lot of years, take that before bed. Wow. That is so important.
Cherry tart juice.
And so that they have the cherry tart powder in the recovery.
Right. So. I know Mark got into a lot of details with that. I think that's totally awesome because it separates us from everybody else's noise. Paul.
One of my gripes with the supplement industry when it comes to pre-workouts is they're putting in the things that
raise your tolerance, so you need to use more of it. The things that are more addictive, so you need more caffeine, things like that. But what actually delays fatigue, improves performance, improves recovery, it's not those things. It's the things that you're about to see. You're about to see creatine monohydrate, hydroxymethylbutyrate, ashwagandha is in there. Look up ashwagandha. It improves performance by itself and lowers stress, which improves recovery. All these different things. So like when you look at that, you're not seeing caffeine and obnoxious amounts of beta-alanine and all these things that give you the tingle and make you think, oh, it's working because you're getting an allergic reaction. You're actually getting something that's going to improve your workout and your recovery. And I'll throw in that my favorite is absolutely load. I mean, creatine monohydrate, your brain, your muscle maintenance, HMB, sarcopenia, muscle prevention, maintenance, and holding on to that. And then ATP5, like they bypassed you having to eat a banana before a workout. And they're like, we're just going to give you the energy straight to the cell. I'll take it.
Great job, Paul. Great job. Brett.
So one thing that I really like is the fact that the work doesn't have caffeine. So for those of you that you are sharing the DNA and they have they have that high sensitivity to caffeine, all right, use the work now, all right, and they can drink a Slim Plus later on during the day.
Yeah.
So that's very, very important. Recovery probably for me, just because, I mean, nobody wants to be sore, and when you're sore, you don't go work out the next day. So this is going to allow you to get the best results. The thing that I would leave you guys with is you need to get on the products and you need to take before and after pictures, all right, because that's what's going to sell. So if you don't have those, you can't share a story, all right? So we were talking earlier, there's a ton of science behind this. I'm not Paul. I can't share that science with people, all right, but I can share a story, all right? And the thing is we need you guys to have other stories that I can share and you guys can share. So we all need to make sure that we get these stories started.
There you go.
I'll have Mark wrap it up, but Brett, that hit a great point, because you guys remember when the Lean 30 came out? That wasn't just brought out to the table. We had stories before and after that showed it worked over time. So that helped the sales of it, that helped to edify that it works, right? So imagine what we can do with this, because we're going into a new year, 2024, right? Is that right? I'm not good with numbers, you know? My football team always goes on the first hut, so. Mark, I don't want to try and push you where we might not want to go, but maybe this is the start of this lineup. I don't know, but is there anything you want to do as far as talking to us about the value that we have with this and what's in the future?
I will say this. This is the foundation of what will become a longevity line at IDLife.
Good enough.
But more importantly, I don't want people to lose focus of one important element. You know, we have the Lean 30, and it does an amazing job of helping people lose fat. I want you to hear me on this. Our coaches that are helping in that are doing an amazing job coaching people through the process. Okay? To realize the Lean 30 is more than just the products that are in the box. It's the habit formation that is changing in people's mindset over the 30-day program. Now you add to the fat loss component the muscle gain component of this line, and now you have results like people have never seen before. But when I get to, my favorite product in the line, and there's a real good reason why it's my favorite, it's Recover. But here's why. It's probably the most important, because you do not build muscle in the gym. You build muscle while you sleep.
Bingo.
You tear muscle down while you work. So if you want to actually build muscle, feed it what it needs when it needs it. So it's Recover, Load, Work for me, because guess what? I only work out 3 days a week.
Awesome.
Hear that? Awesome. 3 days a week.
Your IDLife Fitness panel. Come around. Thank you guys.